redefining co-working.
Exceptional offices for every business.
This summer, eSpaces expands with 2 premier locations.
Cool Springs at Corporate Center and Brentwood at City Park.
Explore the private offices, team suites, and fully equipped meeting rooms.
Opening July 2025.
Limited spaces are available.
Schedule your private tour now at espaces.com and be sure to check out all 15 locations at espaces.com.
That's espaces.com.
espaces.com.
Anybody that steps into those shoes, anybody that steps into Nick Saban's shoes while he's still there and still, like you said, going to games, around the program. Kalen DeBoer is an awesome coach. Yeah. I mean, you can't argue that. But it's just like Ryan Harson's a great coach, but you go into that culture and you're not from there. Like Nick went from Michigan State, kind of more from the Midwest, down to LSU. And I think there were a lot of LSU fans like, who the heck is this guy? I think we have an epidemic in youth sports. I think it's a huge problem. And it's the system. It's not just social media. It's the system of you're 8 years old and you're going to play 55 games, and the coach, carries around rings because he's won 3 rings in the last 3 years, and it's just like they're 8. Let's teach them the fundamentals.
I want to see if you can help settle let's say a heated debate. Maybe that Tully and I had.
Oh, I knew.
I don't even know if I remember this.
No, but I want to know.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
We're excited, aren't we?
Yeah,
So excited.
It's going to be fun today.
One step closer to September.
The voice.
Well, hold on. Let me set this up. This is the Try That in a Small Town podcast. We got everybody here, right? But yeah, the voice. We got a pretty good guy coming on today.
I'm ready to hear it. Get me fired up.
We got Kirk Herbstreet coming on. I know you guys know who he is, right?
The voice of fall.
Neil just said this. He's the voice.
Those of us who watch college football know exactly.
He is college football. Yes.
You guys have got to be pumped.
We're jacked.
Oh, yeah. Every time I hear that voice, I'm like, a load comes off because I know it's getting close.
Yeah. It's going to be
I
good.
researched him for 6 hours. I've got all kinds of stuff, and I know he won't be here with us long enough, but if we can hold him for 4 or 5 hours.
No, you know what I love about him? I mean, he's really good at what he does. You do honestly trust what he's saying, his broadcasting stuff, but he's just, from what I've read, and I know you guys know a little background on him too, he's a really good dude. He's a man of faith. He's a great father, husband. Hopefully we have a chance to get into all of that because, man, I just think we're all pumped. We're fans.
Oh, yeah, and just beyond what we already know, he's a huge fundraiser like Make-A-Wish and things like that. I got to thinking about that too. Like when we have St. Jude events and things like that, we'll get like hey, it's another signed guitar. Imagine his charities. The stuff, the swag that he could get, the auction items would be fantastic.
That's interesting.
We got to hit him up for some auction items for St. Jude and things like that.
That's awesome. We hope you guys are excited as we are. Let's not waste any more time. Here we go. Welcome, Kirk Herbstreet.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Dude, Kirk, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
This is huge.
Great to be with you guys.
Oh, man. So, it's funny. We've never met, which is always fun. You get on the Google, you find all the things that are true and not true. Yeah. But one thing I couldn't find is what kind of musical preference you have. Do you listen to music? Do you listen to any kind of, what's on the Kirk Herbstreet playlist?
I kind of like it all. I honestly, I grew up more with probably R&B and hip hop. And then moving to Nashville, and I think probably got me, well, actually I met Kenny Chesney back in like 2001. Went to one of his shows. I wasn't a guy that went to a lot of concerts. I was, busy with sports. But I went to one of his shows, had an absolute blast. And my version of country before I met Kenny was kind of more of old school and more like, banjo and more of that type of thing. And I just never really listened to it. And then when I listened to Kenny and then I moved to Nashville, then I started to listen to Jason. I listened to Luke, listened to Luke Combs, everybody. Yeah. So I'm probably become more of a country fan than I am of anything else. But I like it all. I listen to everything.
Nice.
not hard rock. I never got into like.
What would you consider
like
hard
Fowler,
rock though? What falls in that, like metal or classic rock?
Metal.
Or,
Yeah.
okay.
See, I grew up in the '80s, the hair bands.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
it was never real. Like Van Halen, was probably about the only one that I would hear.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
good.
Maybe
Yeah,
more like
yeah, but
REO
like-
Speedwagon, maybe.
Yeah.
Because they had the hair.
I like
I
I actually like
I did
REO
too.
Speedwagon.
Is that a
Yeah.
shot at REO?
No,
but dude,
all the high
I'm
school
talking
dances,
about-
that was them.
I can listen to some AC/DC now, but
Yeah.
back then it was just like when it gets like they're taking the guitar and they just want to hit it against something.
Yeah.
I just never really. Now my buddy, a guy I work with, Chris Fowler,
Yeah.
he'll go to the metal and where they actually jump into it and hit each
You are
other.
kidding
gosh.
me.
Mosh
No,
pits.
he goes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that.
I'm
And
too
see,
old for
just
that.
Serious.
yeah. He's
Adrenaline
dead serious. He
junkie.
does that.
That would hurt your back.
Oh yeah.
No,
I'm like,
aggravate the hurt back in the mosh pit.
Tell me what that is.
I
Like,
can't even picture Chris Fowler in a mosh pit.
Yes. He loves it. He loves the heavier the metal, the better.
That's amazing.
Hold on, he's not down in the pit, right? He's up in a suite watching, right?
No, he's
throwing- he's throwing haymakers
He's
at
throwing
people.
shots.
Apparently.
No.
I swear
I'm
to
too
you.
much of a germaphobe for that. I couldn't do that.
I'm with you.
I couldn't do
Dude,
it.
a mosh pit, Kalo, is your worst nightmare. All the germs down
What
there,
if you
buddy.
were playing?
The guys throw me,
on
you
a
can throw me,
stage
but
and
pass this
you're
around.
looking down at that. Is that just? You imagine at a show,
no.
you're like, oh, what the hell is going on down there?
Security.
Exactly. Right.
That's their fan base. They can't kick them out.
Right. That's what they expect.
More blood, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I would not be part of that. So.
Okay, so this
Everything
is
but that for me.
Is this
Yeah.
technically the off season for you? Like off season for us actually is an off season. People think when we're not touring, we're not working. We're actually probably busier.
Oh yeah.
at that point.
Creating and getting
Yeah.
ready.
But you, what's that like for you? The quote unquote off season.
Well, when I had 4 kids
Yeah.
and they were younger, I went from football season to Uber driver. You know, I drove them to school. I drove them to
Yeah.
my wife, we have 4 sons. So it's like, you take him to football. I'll take this one back to school. You know, it was just constant. And I loved it. I was, in the trenches as far as being a dad and just wanting to be around them. And I love that part of my life. And then they started to drive. And then they moved out. My youngest just moved out. We just put him up in school up in Ann Arbor about just a month ago. So now it's a very different off season. You know, empty nesters, and my wife and I are kind of figuring out that stage in life. But yeah, when I get to the national championship, let's say it's January 20th, from January 21 to about March, I just try to go away, just try to unplug. You guys probably can relate to that. But you're right. I mean, the off season, there's still things to do. There's you're always keeping up with the NFL and college football. You're always have an appearance or you have something that's going on. So you consider it the off season because it's not the grind that you have from August to January, but there's still stuff going on for sure.
I got to admit, when you started calling NFL games, I just kind of went.
Let's see, Neil.
I love the NFL. Don't get me wrong. I'm
No,
a
you
Bama
don't.
guy. I'm
No,
a
you don't
Bama
like the
guy.
NFL.
Yeah.
You hate the NFL.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't hate
Yes,
the
you do.
NFL. at all.
He just watches college more.
Who's
He
your
doesn't hate
NFL team?
You didn't have one.
Well, I mean, I'm always going to be a Titan supporter, always. You know?
but if they lose,
I was a Dolphin fan.
There you
growing
go,
up.
okay.
Dolphins.
You bounce around.
Yeah.
He bounces around.
Yeah.
But there were some Bama guys that played for the Dolphins back in the day.
Oh, I got you.
Tony Nathan, a bunch of guys.
Right.
like
You still
that.
got
And
Bama
I
guys
just-
playing
But
for
if
the
the
Dolphins.
Titans lose to the Texans versus if Alabama loses to LSU, what's the difference in your
I
reaction?
could give 2 shits. But now about the Titans, you know, I mean, college football is in the.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I hear you.
When we
These
went
two
to more games, though, like when we had Titans, we had PSLs, me and my brother, and it was
Oh, cool.
really fun, and it was back in the Vince Young days, and they're
Oh, yeah.
winning a little bit here and there, but they started getting really progressively worse, and you're paying all that money every year, and you're paying it in February when there's
Yeah.
no football.
Right,
it's
right.
It's like, hey, send in $7 grand for next season. I said,
Yeah.
next season, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
So
How long did you
more
do
they
it?
Lost, and we did it for like 3 years.
Okay.
And now, I mean, it's crazy expensive with the new stadium. So hopefully,
I know. I haven't looked
you know.
into that. Now that I moved back to town, I got to inquire. I can't imagine the tickets and what that's going to be for.
Yeah, I
PSL
think
or
you'll
Suite.
be a lot more discounted than we might be.
Hey, how about the fact that they're putting that new stadium in? How badly has this town needed and deserved a new stadium. It's going to be fantastic. I'm guessing. And have the Super Bowl, national championship, Final Four, not to mention all the other events that'll be going on.
Yeah.
That place is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Nashville's such a great destination, I guess primarily for bachelorettes, but now it's becoming more of a...
Yeah, when they had the draft here, though, it was...
Oh, it was insane. We were down
They should
there.
do the draft here every year.
That was actually really fun.
you think?
It was
That was
amazing.
actually great. We went down to Aldean's bar that night. We all went down, and it was down there. And
wall to wall.
I'm not really I could really care less who gets drafted because at the end of the day, like it doesn't mean that anyone's going to be good or not. I'm a pro football guy, and until you get to the pros and you do well.
So when the Patriots make their pick, you're not. I mean, you're excited about that pick.
Yeah. I'm excited when
He's
they
still
start
in
winning.
mourning. He's still in mourning.
No, I'm in.
You
heck,
guys are
Drake May.
You guys
got
are
a whole new
you
beginning,
guys,
man.
You hit bottom, and now you're going to start to
Vrabel's
climb.
back.
Yeah, and they picked up a bunch of free agents.
We got a QB. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about things.
I got to know, do you have a favorite NFL team?
I was kind of like you. I grew up in Ohio and Ohio State, and college football was everything to me. You had the Browns, and I grew up in Southwest Ohio. So you had the Browns in Northeast and Cincinnati and Southwest. But I grew up, again, 70s, 80s, and I was, in that era, you were either a Steelers fan or a Cowboys fan. And I was a Cowboys fan. I loved Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett and all those teams. And then I became, as I got older, I became more of a Bengals fan. But not, if they lose, it's kind of like, you move on to the next thing. Whereas when I was a kid, if Ohio State lost, you're crying. It's devastation.
Right.
So I've always loved the NFL, but college is just different. It like runs through my veins. I just love every aspect of college, even though it's changing so fast and so much. But the college energy around those stadiums, you just can't beat that.
Well, you mentioned, sorry, Kayla, I just didn't want to gloss over this because he mentions Ohio State. Your dad played at Ohio State from what I've read, and you did. Your one son is at Ohio State, but now you have a son in Ann Arbor.
Yeah. I mean, my wife cheered at Ohio State.
Yeah.
My dad was a captain. He coached after he played with Woody Hayes, coached with Bo Schembechler as well. My dad taught me in a very different way than most of your Ohio State fans today. My dad taught me to respect Michigan. Like the one day you play them, it's all hands on deck. Destroy them. But if they played Notre Dame in a non-conference game or they played USC in a Rose Bowl, my house, we respected Michigan and cheered, not cheered, but you were okay with them winning.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's how my dad raised me.
Amazing.
Yeah, but it was a very different era, man.
For that rivalry, it's amazing.
But you have to understand, like today it's more like everything else, it's chat rooms and hate and it's just insanity. Yeah. In the 70s and 80s, when Bo and Woody, who were best friends, were competing against each other, it was a kill you that day mentality, but it was a respect because all those recruits that went to Ohio State and Michigan, it came down to you're either going to Ohio State or you're going to Michigan in that era. And so they mirrored one another. They hated each other, but in a kind of a respectful way. Today, it's more, they don't, in my opinion, understand the rivalry, the history of the rivalry. It's more just hate. It's hate.
It really is.
And I think Tennessee would be up there. I think Alabama is up there. People that just live it. Now, to me, that's a good thing. They live it, breathe it. It's 12 months out of the year. But I think those are, Florida maybe is up there. Most of the SEC schools,
Florida,
I think, are up there.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
He's a baller. Florida is actually the only team and family that I really tough to like.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard to pull for them, but it's like like you said, fan bases hate each other nowadays. When sometimes you'd pull for them, like hey, Florida wins, that kind of helps Tennessee.
Yeah, I feel like the SEC cheer. I've been to so many bowl games where the fan base of the team, they love their team, but the other SEC fans, they're right there going SEC.
Right.
If someone they're supposed to hate beats a Big Ten school, they usually get the SEC chant going, which is amazing to me because you would never see that in any other conference where they chant Big 10 or Big 12. You don't ever hear that.
Right. Well, you gotta have somebody
that
to pull
SEC
for.
pride is different.
Yeah, and if your team's out, then you want to put the next closest thing is, well, I'm pulling for Georgia or Alabama, whoever.
Would you do that?
SEC.
I
would do
What?
that because my team's out.
If
So it's my
Alabama's
conference,
out,
so I
do
would
you
pull
pull
them.
for the SEC team to to win?
Not really.
See,
if we're out, we're
I think the majority of people do.
And Neil is not the majority type of guy at all.
I mean, we had nothing else growing up. It was Alabama or Auburn, and we didn't have pro sports.
I don't like it.
And,
like as a baseball fan, we love the Red Sox. I am never going, the Yankees got in. They won it. I'm happy.
I will say this: I
think it's a brotherhood in the SEC.
Yeah,
I really do.
If Tennessee's playing Ohio State, I'm probably pulling for Tennessee.
So, yeah,
probably.
Really,
you should have pulled harder that last game.
I would. I would.
How about Auburn's playing Michigan?
Auburn's not even a factor to us anymore. until he brings them back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of been.
It's been ownership.
It's kind of been boring.
Yeah.
And now it's boring. It really has.
They almost got you 2 years ago.
I know,
Remember the Hail Mary there at the end.
When Saban left, it was just kind of like,
how you doing without Saban there?
How you doing?
He's not good. He's actually not doing well.
No, I am, because he's helping with recruiting and everything. So he hadn't left. He still has a spot down there.
Yeah. But what about Coach DeBoer?
I was going to ask you that question.
I like him. I think anybody that steps into those shoes, anybody that steps into Nick Saban's shoes while he's still there and still, like you said, going to games, around the program. Kalen DeBoer is an awesome coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue that. But it's just like Brian Harson's a great coach, but you go into that culture and you're not from there. Like Nick went from Michigan State, kind of more from the Midwest, down to LSU. And I think there were a lot of LSU fans like, who the heck is this guy? And then he won him over. And that's what Alabama's going to have to do with Kalen DeBoer. He's going to have to, he's not going to do it the way Coach Saban did it. Very, very different. But I hope people respect who he is as a coach.
I do too.
He's a really good coach.
I feel the exact same
He's just
way.
not Nick Saban.
Is it kind of different for you? I mean, being at the top of your game as leading sports analyst and media guy, when Saban's on set, like, do you ever just, as I know you're a player with one of the biggest levels, and but when he's on there, like as a newbie in that world, and is it different? Like, do you think about things you're saying when you're analyzing things, thinking, I wonder what Coach
That's
Saban
a great question. I tell you, man, it's been amazing. He and I have been friendly for a long. You're either kind of in the circle or you're out. And for whatever reason, I've been in the circle with him since like 1997 when he was at Michigan State, and I mean, we've had conversations when he's been a coach off the record, and I've known him in a very different way. So when he comes on our set, the thing that blew me away was he's coming to me and asking me questions like he's a freshman in college. Like he didn't come in like, I'm Nick Saban, look at the credentials, Google me, you know who I am.
Right.
He was the opposite. He was more like, we would do a segment and then he would look at, because he's sitting right here, he'd look over at me, he's like, was that all right? Like he wants feedback. He wants you, and he don't want you to pat him on the back and say, oh, that was great. Like if it's not good, he wants you to tell him, how can I be better? Like he's incredibly invested. So what I've found is I've never tried to be a know-it-all. Like I've never tried to like talk down to an audience. I try to talk with the audience. And so with Coach there, of course, he could school anybody and everybody when it came to like, let's get on a blackboard and talk football. But if Desmond Howard makes a comment about something analytically, Coach Saban looks at it and respects what he's saying. If I make a comment, Pat McAfee, anybody, Coach never looks at anybody like, how about this dumbass? Like he respects anybody that's put time and effort and work into their craft. And if anything, he's the one trying to learn TV, and he's the one that's trying to like kind of stay on board with broadcasting. Like he's a great coach, but he's new to broadcasting. And instead of acting like a know-it-all, complete opposite. He's been more of teach me, like help me, which I think has a lot to do with his success, because he really has done well. I think, when you have a show like College Game Day, it's probably like being in a band. You have a built-in chemistry that is very natural. And when you bring a David Pollock in, or you bring some, Reese Davis had to become that new guy, it's tough to fit in with that. And what we've always tried to do proactively, go to dinners, hang out, make that person feel they're part of it and not be intimidated by it's us and you have to earn your way to get in here. Because TV, when you're doing live TV, there's no safety net. You have to protect each other. You have to be a team. And I don't know if you ever watch College Game Day. Hopefully you can feel there's like, if coach is talking, I'm listening to him. I'm not like looking at my notes and, if Desmond's talking, I'm listening to him. So there's a serious bond there, and it's hard to become that new guy and fit in. But I think coach fit in because of how he kind of came in with his hat in his hand. And we reached out to try to make him feel, same with Pat McAfee, make these guys feel part of it. And because that camera, man, it catches when you're natural and it's organic versus phony. If you think about shows you watch, you can tell right away if it's forced or if it's real. And hopefully we come across as real. Like we're talking right now.
Absolutely.
That's kind of how we talk.
100%. That's why that show is so unique, because you can feel that. It's just a conversation between guys that know the game.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Just love it. Just love the game.
Every time we play a college stadium or arena or something, blows my mind. Like I said, I'm not the biggest college football fan. My wife went to Georgia and Aldine, Georgia. So it's, I'm kind of follow the Bulldogs, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the new playoff system. It's fun. I actually like that. But every time we played Tuscaloosa a 2 years ago, you guys came out and so I always blown away though by the facilities at these big schools.
Oh, it's amazing.
No, I mean I'm serious.
Compared to the NFL,
I'm serious. Like we've been around the NFL guys too, and it's great.
Yeah,
but we go down to Alabama and we're walking through. We're like, hey, can we go work out at the facility? Save your last for later. But so
you look good.
So we go over to the gym, and we're walking through the hall with like the trophies and all. I'm like, this is amazing.
It's called Crystal.
This is yes, I mean, it's amazing. And we get to the gym. I'm not kidding you. Like, I needed like a step stool to even get up on the machines.
Yeah, step stool to use the urinal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're short.
I mean, wait a minute.
It's impressive.
Can we get more weights off of this? We're the small plates, but I mean,
that's almost turned into a competition now.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon.
Oregon's amazing.
And in Alabama, it's so cool. You're working out and you're looking at the practice field, and it's like, wow, this is way better than like.
That was the
some
Saban.
Of the NFL.
That's the Saban.
All the
effect.
NFL.
Yes.
I mean, Dallas is pretty cool.
Dallas is about the only one that would
They've
probably
got that
be,
really cool practice field.
Yeah, up in Frisco.
The ACMs are there now.
Yeah.
And so that's always pretty impressive. But it's Dallas, so you expect that. Yeah. But the SEC schools especially seem like they're just like this is college football?
Yeah.
Anyway,
the Big Ten,
lots of money.
Really, almost all the big schools. Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12. Yeah, what used to be the Pac-12 is now kind of all over. They're in the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the SEC. But yeah, they're all. I mean, you walk in and it's like, holy cow!
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
Well, I
beautiful.
assume that's part of the recruiting tool.
Yeah, and also it's not just recruiting. I think it's a big part of making the players, enjoy what they have and want them to come over to the facility. You'll have a golf, a golf simulator. You have a bowling alley. They're doing everything they can to get the guys off of these and over to the facility instead of sitting around watching a movie. They want them over at the facility, so they make it that way. For recruiting, of course, but also to let the players enjoy their time when they're there.
And the fan experience too, which is huge because it's so easy to stay at home and watch it. But their stadiums are just putting a lot of cool stuff in for the fans so you can enjoy game day.
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you, have you been to a college football game? No, I'm serious. Like in person?
No.
Actually, I've never been to one either.
No,
No, I haven't.
No, she used to go to all the Georgia games, and my son likes to go. He'll go up to like he went to a couple Tennessee games, and I've never seen or being where I'm from. It's like college football just wasn't
totally. Most of my friends from the East Coast, they're all Giants fans and Yankees fans and Red Sox. Yeah. So I get it. And when I tell people, and hopefully we can do this a year, we'll do another show a year from now. And what I would ask you guys to do, seriously, go to a Georgia game, go to a Tennessee game.
No, I'm going to take them to Baton
Go
Rouge
to
when they play Bama at night.
Go to a real college football game, a good experience,
Real rival game,
and then we'll circle back next year, and you'll be like, okay, I get it. Like I'm telling you, go 3 or 4 hours early, go to the tailgate around the stadium, because I do both NFL and college.
Yeah,
and it's almost like two different sports. Like if you go and see it in person, go with your wife to Athens, you will die. Like you will not believe the fan experience from a big college game versus an NFL game.
So when I moved here in '96, and I couldn't. I mean, right away, I think the first fall I was here, later that fall of '96, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like it was, I mean, the Vols, everything.
Yeah, the Vols won it in '98.
You know, so it's for some reason, not growing up with it.
Yeah, I get it, man.
I remember watch a lot of like Notre Dame games on television on NBC. But
it's Red Sox. It's Red Sox. It's Pats. It's Bruins.
It's pro sports.
Yeah, for sure.
That's but I do enjoy watching college football. I mean,
I'm just telling you, it's not just a game. It's the sense of community, the alumni,
right?
Their kids, and then their kids become the parents, and then they have kids, and it's just the tents that are up, the smokers that are going. When I go to an NFL tailgate, they're tailgating, they're going crazy, but it doesn't feel, everyone's got a jersey on. But it feels a little more aggressive in an NFL scene. College is more of it feels more traditional. It feels more of a community when you go to a college game. The game is fun. The game is insane. But I'm just talking about the entire experience. I think you would find really interesting if you've never been, in comparison to what which is Red Sox, Pats, Bruins, Celtics. I'd love to hear what you think.
Well, I'll come to your game and I'll come on game day.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. There we go.
Do you think though that I understand what you're saying with college football and all that. Do you think, and you started to mention it, with the way the business of college football is changing, NIL, transfer portal, realignment of the conferences? Like, I find this interesting. You were at Ohio State for 3 years and you didn't play. Yep. You played your senior year. It was great. But would young Kirk Herbstreet have entered the transfer portal if it was in today's rules?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Number one, the sport, because I think a lot of us that are diehard college football fans are worried about all this change, realignment, portal, NIL. Is this game we all love changing right before our eyes and going to be like kind of a mini NFL?
Yeah.
My thing on this is, instead of just saying, I'm a traditionalist and this is the way it should be, and then I have to, in my job, I have to be willing to change with the times. And what I've found is, as long as that Alabama jersey runs out onto the field in Bryant-Denny, those fans on that Saturday, I'll tell you this, the energy in these stadiums over the last couple of years and the interest in the sport, believe it or not, has never been higher. So with all this madness and chaos and all the arguments around the sport in the off season, when you get to September, it's the same energy.
Still feels the same.
Yeah. Now your point about me going through, I was a 5-star, could have gone to any school in the country, picked Ohio State, obviously. My dad was a captain there. I was going to go there all along. And then I fell flat on my face. And what I learned was, I was an option quarterback, learning how to do a 7-step drop. Why am I here, is what I thought. Why did I pick this school, this offense? It doesn't fit who I am. So but I didn't look through it a lens like, where do I fit? I looked at it through a lens like, since I was 2 years old, like if you grew up in Alabama, you have an opportunity to play at Alabama, you're going to go play at Alabama. That's how I was at Ohio State. And so I did want to quit. I was 18, 19, 20. My dad was not a hands-on, F you, your plan. He was more of encouragement, give it another spring, things are going to get better. And eventually I ended up becoming a captain of the team, MVP, most inspirational player. And what I like about that is, man, what I learned going through that. I went through the depths of just, and maybe you guys understand it in your guys' careers. I went through hell, and instead of quitting because of my dad's encouragement, and I went to a psychologist, sports psychologist, which back then when I went to his office, I was like making sure no one was looking when I went in, because I didn't want my boys to like, making fun of me, because no one went to a sports psychologist in 1990. Meanwhile, I was going in there every week, and this guy was helping me rebuild me. And my dad, I mean, it was kind of like whoever your circle is in your faith, you know, whatever that is, got me through to that point where I ended up being a captain. And it changed me, and it made me hopefully a better man and a better father and a better employee at ESPN. And I think going through adversity, I, you know, as a dad myself with my 4 boys, you know, they go to Oak Hill and maybe they don't get to do what they wanted to do, but you know what? I had to learn it's okay. They're playing Little League baseball. They're not the starting shortstop. They're in the outfield. And it's like, they had to go through a lot of shit. And I, at first as a dad, struggled with that. And then as time has gone on, I really like the adversity, and I stay away, and I want them to figure it out because it's going to help them grow to become the people that they need to become. So yeah, looking back at it, it's easy to say, well, if NIL were there, I would have left. But man, it changed my life going through what I went through. And hopefully my kids going through, you know, what they go through, it's helping them. So I encourage people to go through adversity, have your support group to help you get through it. But man, it really shapes you. I think we all grow and develop and really become better people when we go through that crap that we want to avoid. And my fear is these kids today, they go in as a 5-star to Alabama or Tennessee, and they're going to be a stud, and they're on the bench, and the coach just told them to come in at 6 a.m. because they didn't go to class, and they're like, man, F this, I'm out. And it's like, what do we... The value of football isn't just Saturdays and Sundays.
Amen.
The value of football is you get knocked down and you learn to get back up. You know, you learn about team. You learn it's not about you. It's about us and what we do. That's the value. And my fear is we lose that in this process of the change of portal and NIL. So don't get me wrong. I mean, Joe Burrow left Ohio State, went to LSU, and it worked out great. I mean, you could go down the list. Yeah. Cam Ward bounced around a couple different places, first pick. So I'm not saying don't transfer. I'm just saying for me, I'm so thankful that I went through what I went through because of how, would I would love to start for 3 years and go to 3 Rose Bowls? Absolutely. That was my dream. But it didn't happen. And I had to accept that, and I had to learn from it and grow. And so I hope kids still go through those tough times and don't just abandon ship and leave, because I think there's real value in going through that.
So well said. And the parallel that you said, like as far as somebody moving to town, like no singer or songwriter moves to Nashville as a 5-star. Like we're all walk-ons.
Yeah.
You
know? Sure.
And so that is interesting just to prove. So we come here and we're nothing, nobody knows your name.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting, and it does build character, and I think
it's crucial as a young person to go through disappointments.
Yeah.
Because
you imagine not doing that?
I don't know.
I mean
that's life. Every day life is hard.
It seems like the victories would be shallower if you didn't have the adversity.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure.
We had Gary LeBox on, and he said something along those lines. He's like, these kids or people, whatever, whatever field you're in, they don't know how to fail and get yourself out of it and go through the adversity. And, you started talking about youth sports, and I know that you have a big platform, and I applaud what you're doing, because like I'm a dad of a kid that's in sports, and you get caught up in
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
Amen.
And it's really hard. And it's like, you got to make this team and you got to do this. And it's like, no, you actually don't. Let them be kids. Like my kid, he's a shy kid. These guys know him. He's a shy kid. He's kind of timid.
Good athlete.
But in sports, he shines, right?
Yeah.
That's where he is himself. And it's like, so I want to push that on him, but at his pace as well. It's like, I want him to have fun and not get caught up in saying, you got to make the travel team here because that's how you get to the next level.
Yeah,
but
that's a challenge.
Do you think
it is?
I'm glad you mentioned that. As parents too, I think social media is kind of a negative sometimes with that too, because, parents and they only post the positive things, right? Mm-hmm. So, the kids don't see other kids struggling. Like
that's a good point.
So they only see kids succeeding. So they feel like maybe they're not succeeding enough. Because on Instagram, this kid's going 4 for 4.
Yeah, just hit a
3
bomb.
doubles. But they're
You
not
only
seeing
see the
days
celebrations on here.
when he goes 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 and striking out. So it's like that way in everything. Like everybody sees everybody succeeding, not realizing that everybody's also going through the struggles.
Yeah.
So at least that's what it looks like,
No, that's a great point.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go, put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
You know what goes great with small town stories?
Original Glory, America's beer right here.
I've been drinking this every songwriting session today.
Man, that clean, crisp taste reminds me of summer nights on the back porch after a fresh mowed lawn.
And they're just not making great beer. They're investing in America's small towns.
Well, it's just like us. They believe in bringing communities together.
Not only do they invest in communities, but a portion of each sale goes to the veterans and the first responders and all the heroes that protect us.
For a limited time, you can become a member of the OG fam and invest in this beer at wefunder.com/original brands.
Join our Original Glory family and help ignite that Original Glory spirit.
I think we have an epidemic in youth sports. I think it's a huge problem, and it's the system. It's not just social media. It's the system of you're 8 years old and you're going to play 55 games, and the coach, carries around rings because he's won 3 rings in the last 3 years, and it's just like they're 8. Let's teach them the fundamentals of ground balls hit to the shortstop, man on first. Where do we go with the ball? Let's figure that out. Not launch angle and exit velocity and all that bullshit.
Dude, that's the truth, though.
And you got to make this travel team, and you got 7 uniforms. And when I played, and I'm not saying this is the way it should, but I'm just saying, you had a green jersey and white pants. You had a blue one. You had red, and you had it was just like, and it was after the game, it was a race to the concession stand to get your treat and whatever it was. And then you hung out at the park, and you might go in the creek and might go over to the pool. And it was summer. It was fun.
Days.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, we're stealing that from kids and from families, because what you're saying is, because I lived this, I want to go down to 30A. I want to go down to Rosemary with my kids when they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's like, well, we got a tournament in Indiana, and we got to do that one. Then we're going to go to Atlanta. I'm like, they're 9. Like, why are we taking away family experiences to go to an effing tournament in Indiana for our 9-year-old? Like, stupid. I just think, I don't know what the answer is other than go back to playing rec ball, but I just think it's ridiculous that they do travel ball. It's a money maker. They're putting the parents in really tough positions, because if Johnny doesn't make the certain team, he feels like a failure. He may quit the sport. He may just be like, you know what, all my buddies are on that team. I didn't make it. And it's devastating to face that at 11 or 12 years old. And so I don't know what the answer is, other than don't feel that pressure after going through it with 4 boys. What matters is high school. Like, all the bullshit that happens before you get to high school, and all the pressure you feel as a dad to, oh my God, we better do this. We better get that bat. And we got to, it's all bullshit until they get to about 8th grade, 9th grade. That's when the cream starts to rise. And that's when you realize, does my kid have a chance to play high school ball or not? In about 8th or 9th grade. And then it becomes more serious. And then it becomes tournaments, but not when they're in elementary school and early part of middle school. But that's the way it is in baseball. That's the way it's become in football now with summer league camps, and basketball's been doing that forever with AAU.
Is this
hockey? It's insane.
Is it on the parents? Is that where the problem starts? Because, everybody, you think your kid is the next Tiger Woods. And if I have him playing golf since he's 2 and specialize, which, by the way, we're lucky enough to know a lot of athletes, they say don't specialize. That's the worst thing you can do.
No, you can't do that.
But like the parents are like, oh man, he could be the next Tiger Woods if I just make him
funny
play
you bring
golf
that up
every day.
I don't know, as you were Googling, if you heard me say this, I call our era of parenting the Earl Woods syndrome.
Oh, I didn't hear that, but that's interesting.
I call it the Earl Woods syndrome because we all saw all the video of Tiger Woods when he was about 4 years old on the Johnny Carson show or whatever it was, and he hits the golf ball, and then Earl Woods was talking about he golfs, and we were all like, that's what you need to do.
That's the answer.
Yeah. And my thing with my kids was, listen, if you play guitar or you play piano or you're in acting or you're going to play sports, you're either all in or we're going to find something else to do. That was all I cared about was. You got to work at whatever your craft is, and if you're going to participate, then you got to try to be good at it. You got to try your best to practice and be the best you can be. And it wasn't like I was forcing sports on them. It was just my hobbies eventually kind of became their hobbies. But I was very much a stickler on you have to create a work ethic for whatever it is you're participating in. Like I said, if my kids would have been in acting, then I would have been like, we're going to work hard at acting. And that's if you can do that, if you can create a work ethic and an appreciation, you guys all know what it takes to be good at whatever it is you do. That's all if they're not doing that, forget all the Joneses you're trying to keep up with. If in your house, your kid's not investing in whatever it is he's participating in, then he's got to find something else to do, because that has to be learned at a young age, how much you need to work to become good at something. So that's what I kind of came to grips with, as opposed to, because I was like you, I was like, shit, they're making that team, and oh my God, my heart would be going to tryouts. I'd be like, oh God, I hope they do good. I'm so nervous. It's like, why am I doing this? This is insane. So, hey, good luck. I mean, it's a tough world.
No.
It sounds like he loves it, and it's cool. It sounds like he's shy, and then he goes to the field, and he's maybe in his world.
I think that's what we try to concentrate on. That. Hey, if you're having fun, that's what matters. We try not to put pressure on them in anything. So hopefully we're doing okay, but it is hard. It's a struggle every day.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie.
Well, my last recommendation is, no matter what your kid does, son or daughter, you go to the event, they did good, they didn't do good, whatever happened, they get back in the car, and to me, it's, hey, you want to go to Sonic? Hey, where do you want to go grab something to eat? Like, it's not, man, what happened on that one ground ball? Yeah, you guys would have won the game. It's don't even
the parents relive it relentlessly.
Don't talk about whatever, good or bad.
Yeah.
Maybe if they did good, they walk up to you, just quick high five or a quick hug, and then it's like, hey, you going over the pool, or it's just make them feel like they're safe when they get in the car. Because where I had to have a come to Jesus with myself was when my kids were young. We still lived in Ohio. They were about in 3rd grade, and I was coaching. And my competitive spirit was getting the best of me. And I started to, one time I caught myself seeing my kids' eyes and how they were looking at me like, almost like scared. Because I was, man, I'm a competitor, like I cannot take that out of me. And I caught myself and I thought, I want to be friends with my sons when they're in their 20s. And I want them to want to come to my house. And I want to have a relationship with them way more than I want them to be 3rd in the batting order and hit 500 and whatever. So I stopped coaching. I went into the stands and I became just like, good job. Like I'm thankful that I caught myself, because I was on that conveyor belt of just hard charging because of the competitive spirit that you have as a dad. And I put that to the side early, and I'm thankful because you still have moments, you can't help that, but if you ask my sons, I think they would tell you there was a difference from early to I learned through trial and error, because that's the best way to learn, is going through it. But there's a lot there as a dad when you get in that car and you want to say something, especially if you know something that could help them, you want to tell them, you can't do it. In my opinion, it's best to maybe talk to them later about it, but not in the car. I wouldn't do it.
That's a great point.
Well, Kurt, I know we only got you for a couple more hours. But before you go, I want to see if you can help settle let's say a heated debate that Tully and I had on the last episode. Hadn't came out yet, but it will probably soon.
Oh, I knew.
I don't know if I remember
I know where you're going with
but I
this.
want to know because
I know where you're going with this.
Because
I know where you're going with this.
Tully studies, quarterbacks and stuff like that,
here
and
we
he
go.
considers himself an analyst. And so
I don't.
since
Kirk, I don't
that's not a bust, because you do follow quarterbacks that go for much more than I do. So
Speak well.
I can't believe
so
you're doing
Pats-
this.
You speak well.
So the Pats came up and Tom Brady, and he really went on a rant about Tom Brady. I wasn't saying anything because Tom Brady's great. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after we had already disagreed on a couple other things, he said, "Oh, and Peyton Manning, he's overrated." And I'm like, where did that come from? why all of a sudden are we busting on Peyton Manning? So, do you think
This is perfect.
Do you think, like Tully, that Peyton Manning is overrated?
I don't think Peyton Manning's overrated.
He's overrated.
Thank you, and thank you.
But I also think Tom Brady is the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
We all agreed on that.
Yeah.
See,
We both won. How is Peyton overrated?
He's overrated this way. And if you ask
I'm gonna get a drink.
a football fan, if you ask like a Kalo football fan, you mentioned Peyton Manning, and for some reason he's at the top of everyone's list. I think he's good. I think he left a couple on the table. He didn't throw the greatest ball.
You don't know college football, obviously.
No,
He was overrated in college.
Wait.
He was overrated in college.
When I moved here in the years, like I said, 96, and so I was here during the Peyton Manning years.
Yeah, you're right there.
So
for 2 years,
they were winning. That's great.
But they didn't win a championship until he left.
This is the next
You
year
said
with
it,
T.
Kurt,
Martin.
man.
Yeah, but he got things
Same
rolling.
team, except different
He got
quarterback.
things rolling. Now, it's a bounce of a ball. It's different calls. I mean,
Let me see that football. Here, my favorite Peyton Manning spiral. Not that means anything.
For those of you listening, it was
if
perfect.
it's accurate, is all that matters.
Now I do miss the Peyton Brady matchups. I miss those. But I think everybody's Peyton Manning. No, I don't know. I think he's great quarterback, but not as great as everyone automatically thinks he is.
I think the reason why most people appreciated him was he was really a guy that at the line of scrimmage was doing things that not a lot of quarterbacks were doing. Like there'd be a play that was called, and he had he was the offensive coordinator.
Right.
I mean, he would go, he'd look at the defense, everyone does the Omaha, but he was doing everything. He's checking the front, and Tom was doing all these guys do it, but to the level that Peyton was doing it, it was basically like who has the chalk last. The defense is moving around. He's seeing it. A lot of guys, they get the call. The defense moves around and they just kind of go with the call. With Peyton, you could never do that because he would always get, safety's coming down late, check. Like he would always get into the right play. And I mean, his leadership, what a great teammate he was. I mean, when you say he's overrated, I'm trying to say, you don't think, what is overrated? Is he looked at as one of the top 5 best of all time?
What I was saying was, I think he's a great quarterback. But it feels like when I ask people, okay, who's the best quarterback? They just automatically say Peyton Manning.
Oh, okay.
Which he's down there. He's down on the list for me.
Who you got above him?
Brady's the GOAT. We know that. We all agree on that.
Sure.
Yeah. Montana.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Brett Favre's, the gamers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's better. But I mean, Peyton's up there. He's in the top 10. Is he 5? Kirk, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who. Dan Marino, John Elway.
I love Marino. Marino never won.
Mahomes. I mean, even though he's still in his career, Mahomes is doing some crazy things.
Mahomes is a winner.
Think about
pretty
what
crazy.
we have. Think about what we have right now with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow.
Josh Allen,
Lamar Jackson, and it does it in a very different way, and he's so good. And Mahomes. I mean, we're really fortunate.
Do you think
right
Lamar
now
will win one?
I think he will. I'm a huge fan of that franchise, the way they do it. They just can't quite get over the hump.
So what is it then in the playoffs? Why do they?
I couldn't tell you, man.
Is it just because Mahomes, the competition?
Yeah, I think it's the era that he's in.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a knock on him. I think it's really about maybe who they play. I'm not a Ravens fan, but I'm a fan of how they go about their business. Like when I watch their draft, how they find pieces that fit the personality of their team, I think they're as good as anybody currently in the NFL.
The Ravens are
They don't have. They need another Ray Lewis on the other side of the ball.
Yeah. And I think the receivers for Lamar, like they've had some good ones, but I think now what they have on their roster, I think this could get them over the hump. They're always going to be a factor, but it's just a matter of that day. Do they get it done against Burrow or against Mahomes? I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, I
love watching.
That's tough.
I love watching Josh Allen play. Like with the Pats the last couple of years, struggling. I actually found myself pulling, which is crazy to say,
for Buffalo,
just because I really.
He's
like
a gamer.
Josh Allen.
Well, he's going back to that Brett Favre kind of thing. Like he's just that.
But I pull for
reckless.
Burrow. I pull for Burrow too.
Yeah,
I like Burrow for the same reason.
Yeah,
that's why I love the NFL. Yeah. I just love the NFL.
Burrow's never had an offensive line, and he still has been outstanding. And they didn't have a defense. I mean, he had to outscore everybody last year.
Yeah,
it's a great time in the NFL, man.
Oh, it really
There's
is.
so many great teams, and like the Vikings in the NFC are coming along with with all the players that they have. I think J.J. McCarthy this year could be a real story. I think he'll step in if he's healthy. I think he could do really good. 49ers kind of rebuilding. The Rams. Both conferences have a million storylines, which I think makes
fun.
Every Thursday, every Sunday, a lot of fun.
I just can't wait. I can't wait for football.
I know. It's 105 out there.
And we're in the dead zone now too, where it's like mainly.
I was getting ready to say that's what's wrong with the world today, right now, today.
Oh, what you got?
It's football. No, we don't have any football.
Well,
there's no football.
I don't watch the spring leagues because I'm so excited. I love to suffer through the summer. And then when August 23 hits, that's week 0 for college football, even NFL preseason, you just there's just such a, oh my God, here we go.
Energy.
All the way to February.
It's so amazing.
I got to give you props though. It's like, until I hear your voice.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Until I'm like, the first time we hear your voice,
here we go.
Fella, I'm like, it's like, let's go.
Question, man, because just talking about that makes me think about this. For our whole lives, we've been inundated with music. We're songwriters, we're players, we play on music, we're producers. So, I don't listen to music. And when I do, I have a hard time. Well, I don't listen objectively. I know you feel the same way. You can't. I got into the business because I love music, but I don't love music like that anymore. It's just a different brain, right? We're programmed different. We love football. We can't wait to watch football. Can you watch football and turn off?
No, I can't turn off no.
Yeah.
So I watch a game, and I'm always amazed if I go to a Super Bowl party, how much talking is going on in the room.
I can't stand it.
Because I'm the guy. You don't want to watch a game with me unless you're in it with me.
Right.
But I'm like in the game. Like I'm watching the graphics. I'm listening to the crowd. I'm listening to the call. I'm digesting every ounce of the broadcast. And I think I always did that even before I got into the business, but now especially a weird graphic will come up or the director will cut a certain way. And I'm just like, I don't know why didn't he stay on that shot? Like in my head, I think that it's probably like you with music. So I'm constantly probably in my own way learning and watching, and I really like that, or wow, that camera angle was, and I'll text my producer, like, are you watching the game right now? Rewind that and check that. Like, so I'm constantly kind of enjoying the game, but watching it through a kind of an industry's eye, I guess, like you guys with music for sure.
I told you one time,
I enjoy it though.
I would love just for an hour to be able to go back and listen to music like I did when I was 8 or 9.
I know.
Just for like an hour, just to hear what it sounded like.
Tell me the difference. Like what?
Because I'll sorry, Kurt.
No.
All I hear from, I started playing bass when I was 11, 12 years old, so young, and now my whole life, just music. That's all I've ever done. So when I listen to music now, I can't listen to it purely for just music. I hear the writing, I hear the bass part, I hear the guitar parts, I hear something wrong in the track. Ooh, that was, and
you're not listening, you're evaluating.
And the records I grew up on, like the old, U2 albums and
that's
Police
the producer
albums.
coming out in you.
Yeah, I would just love to be able to listen to it.
You can't do that at all. Huh?
Innocently. No, I can't. It's
interesting.
I'm only here.
We do. We pick it apart.
Things,
I pick. We're always listening to the lyrics and melody.
Yeah.
It's like I can't listen to it for what it is. Anymore.
Wow.
We have other issues too, but that's a different podcast. Nico from Tennessee, quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he made a good decision for his career? And do you think Joey Aguilar would be kind of a somewhat good trade for Tennessee this season?
I'm going to wait to see. He's going into a great system. I mean, Josh puts the quarterback in Josh Heupel puts the quarterback in a spot to be successful with the system that they run. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him do well. And also he's going in with, I don't want to say nothing to lose, but the expectations are always high at Tennessee, but they're going to be in his corner. That fan base is going to be in his corner after Nico kind of left him the way he did. I don't know the true story. I've heard different stories. Some people thought it was about money. I've heard from close sources it was more about Nico's dad going to Josh back in December before they played Ohio State, like, hey, listen, you got to get better at offensive line and better at receiver. You got to get better around him if you want us to stick around, which blows my mind that a college quarterback's dad would do that to a head coach. And I think at the end of the day, when they got into spring ball, it was still more of you haven't brought people in to make him and this offense better. Again, I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was hearing. So I don't think it was necessarily about the money. I think it was more about, is Nico going to be able to play well enough to eventually be a first pick in the draft with the players that they had around him? That's disgusting to me if that's true. Right. I wouldn't expect Drake May to go to Mike Vrabel, or Drake May's dad to go to Mike Vrabel in the NFL and say, hey, listen, you guys are doing a shitty job.
Jake would never do that.
But think about that. In the NFL, you wouldn't do that. And a college parent is doing that, if that's true. It's mind-boggling that that's where we are right now, that a Josh Heupel has to actually listen to a parent and feel threatened that his starting freshman quarterback might leave because he hasn't done what the dad asked. Blows my mind if that's in fact true. So he ended up leaving. I think a lot of people thought he'd go to Oregon or all these big places, and he ends up at UCLA, more closer to home for him. So wish him the best. See if it works out there at UCLA. But I think that story was incredibly strange and speaks volumes about kind of the times that we're in right now in this sport. But I'm fired up to see what Tennessee does this year because they're kind of in an underdog role after you lose your franchise quarterback like that overnight. Yeah. So I think we're all excited to kind of see who they are and what Josh does, because he's a great coach, what he does to kind of come up with answers to win games this year.
Is college football going to get a handle on it, on the NIL? And
well, when I hear they're waiting on Congress to help them, I have no hope. Yeah. when they say that,
absolutely.
I talk to Coach Saban all the time because he's in these conversations with the power brokers, and I talk with the conference commissioners who basically are the power brokers. I think right now what's on the forefront of their minds, the leadership's minds, is not getting a handle on the sport, even though they're meeting. I think it's figuring out the postseason, because right now they have one more year of the current 12-year contract, and then they start a new one in 26. And I think what the Big Ten wants to do and what the SEC, who are the real two Goliaths here, they're not seeing it the same way. There's a disagreement. The SEC basically wants, you can have 5 automatics, and then let's do 11 that are just the next best ranked in order, because that would give the SEC probably a lot of teams. And the Big Ten wants a little bit more of security, 4 for the SEC, 4 for the Big Ten, and then 2 for the ACC, 2 for the Big 12, and whatever's left, 2 or 3 at large. So there's that. Is it going to be 16? Is it going to be 14? They all are debating on how they evaluate teams. You have a committee that right now ranks the teams. The The SEC doesn't feel the committee is doing a good job, so they want another way of analytics to be involved in evaluating the team. So I think all of that, what I'm saying, is a big, big discussion, and NIL and transfer portal and all that is kind of, unfortunately, on the back burner for now. And I think the revenue share that you now see, where these athletic departments now get $20.5 million to give, not just to football, but to give to all their sports. So I'm guessing 75%, 80% of that will go to football. And then you have to figure out, okay, you have 105 players. You know, your starting quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier at LSU, how much are you going to give him? What a challenge versus the left guard, versus the backup quarterback, versus the punter. Like, how do you decide who gets what?
And that feels like, again, you know, the college football thing is a conundrum to me to how you navigate all that.
Yeah.
But is that at that stage of football, you know, it's got to change the dynamic completely. You know, you got, you know, now all of a sudden it's not just NFL. Like, somebody's making more on the team. It was never like that.
Locker room.
And these are young kids.
That's where it is. Right?
Yeah.
Like, these are young kids. These, you know.
The difference in college and pro, though, is the pro, there is a collective bargaining agreement, and the players and the players' union, they negotiate with the commissioner and with the NFL, and they come to an agreement. And we would love in college football to get to a point where the players, somebody reps the players, and the players and the schools negotiate on NIL. Okay, do we agree on this on NIL? Okay, transfer portal, do we agree? You come to an agreement on all of this, and then you hire an enforcement staff and you hold people accountable. Like that would be the perfect world, because right now, the NFL, you have rules. Here are the rules. Here are the guidelines. End of story. You can't leave the Patriots because you're 3-10 and you're tired of playing and you're like, I'm transferring anyway. I'm going to be a free agent. I'm out. It's like, you have a contract. Like, you're staying here and you're playing. These college guys, they're like bailing. They just leave. There's nothing holding them accountable. So right now, when I played, the players had zero say. It was like, you know, sir, yes, sir, may I have another. Like, that was your mentality as a player. Right. And now the players have all the cards. They went from having no cards to now they have all the cards. And that's ridiculous.
I don't know how you dig yourself out of that.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to. They're going to have to find a way, and hopefully they find a way to get a collective bargaining, because I think that eventually is going to be the only way that the two sides can get on the same page and create some guidelines and some rules, because it's okay that players are making money, but let's have some rules on how we do that. So hopefully that'll come in the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm praying it does.
Absolutely. It needs
just
to happen.
madness right now.
It really is.
Yeah.
Kirk, we're so appreciative of you, man.
Thank you so much.
We know your time is valuable. We're all fans of yours. Not only are you at the top of your game, you're a devoted husband, you're a great father to your kids, man. You stand up for your beliefs and your faith, and we appreciate you being here, spending this time with us today.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to hearing your voice.
It's coming up. Be here soon.
Can't wait.
Let's get through the summer. When are you guys all traveling? When do you guys get going? Are you in the middle of it? Or
we just kind of started. We started
You're back at it.
last month. Did 3-4 shows.
Yeah.
And so we picked back up mid-July.
Okay.
And it'll be
And you go till
end of October.
Okay.
Come on out.
It's pretty easy.
You got to come out.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Come on out.
I'd love to. I just went to the Sphere and saw Kenny.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how was
Here's
that?
what's interesting.
Yeah.
And Kenny, in the Vibe Room, he was talking about how, you know, when he does a show, he likes to like feel the audience and look in their eye, and it's like an interactive moment throughout the show. And he's like, everyone's doing this. And I said, wow, that's great. And I've never seen the Sphere. So I went to the show. He put us in a really good spot to watch it. And it was almost like, if you've ever been to Disney World, it was almost like being on one of those virtual reality rides. I found myself, because this thing goes up 30 stories, and it goes up above your head. And all of us, we love Kenny, but like you're watching Sean Silva's stuff. Like, it's like, wow, look at that over there, you know. And Kenny's music, it was almost like, it's great, but it was almost like background music to to the show that was going on. So different experience.
So I wondered that as
very
an
different
artist
experience.
playing there, because you typically, we get so much feedback from the audience,
Yeah.
but not there. I bet.
I don't think you would.
Yeah.
It's the same reasoning why, if we're doing a stadium show, people think, oh, stadium, that's amazing. It's amazing.
They're so far away, right?
You feel on stadium shows, we end up finding that we're playing more for each other in the band.
I could see that.
Than versus like an arena in Denver.
Right.
Where you can feel the people and feel the energy.
And yeah.
And you probably, I could see that being an issue out there for that show. Like it's so much to take in that you forget that others are live show.
Isn't that amazing how much, because we always talk about this on our show. We're almost like doing Broadway because our crowd is really involved in our show.
Yeah.
And it's amazing when you go to a show and the crowd is a 10 out of 10, how it impacts you and your performance. Versus if the crowd's like, oh, we've been at Alabama or Ohio State 100 times. They're good, but it's not like going to, a place that we've never been. Yeah. And I think it really impacts the performance of what we do. And we do start to really, challenge each other more because we're not getting the juice from the crowd. I don't know if you guys experience that in your guys' world or not.
We talk about this a lot. We played a couple of festivals this last week, and it's always different because it's not a tour show, and the venue's different, and when the crowd, and they may be the best crowd ever, but if you're not connecting with it on some level, it's hard to really feel like you get it going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where some nights you can't miss because like you said,
oh my God,
they're on top of you and you're feeling.
Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing. It's
like adrenaline rush.
It's what I love about the old days, playing the clubs.
Oh
yeah.
Building the career, playing the clubs and they're on top of you. Then you play little arenas and smaller venues, theaters, and you're still there. And then all of a sudden you're playing stadiums. I remember playing, what stadium was it? I think it was Denver. The football stadium with Kenny, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing, and it's beautiful, and I'm looking at the people, and I'm like, there's no way they're into this show. There's no way you can feel it up there.
Have you ever played and people are like talking to each other like while you're playing? Have you ever experienced that? Because it's so big.
I don't think Neil and I do.
They're enjoying the music, but they're kind of caught up in other stuff.
To what Tully was saying, if you're playing a stadium, you are just so, and this, believe me, we're not trying, it's awesome. However,
it's just different.
You're very disconnected. And there's no way to feel connected because if we played the Rose Bowl, if 100,000 people, you
try your best to always play towards the back of the room.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so big though, it's like, wow, are they feeling this? Versus when we play the arena in Nashville, it's a great place to play. It's not a super big arena. So you feel like they're always on you and it's great. But it's a different how you prepare for a stadium versus preparing for arena or even an amphitheater. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
What's that one in Chicago we play? Finley Park?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been up there. It's an amphitheater outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
It's huge. But it's one of the best places to play because they have this little balcony thing above and you feel like you're almost like they're on top of you.
Wow.
And
That's cool.
and they give so much back to you when it feels like that, you know?
Yeah.
And we talk about this stuff after every show.
Have you ever played what's the amphitheater in Nashville? Have you guys ever done that one, that outdoor one?
No, we haven't done it.
Ascend.
The first bank. Is that the first bank?
No, Ascend.
Ascend. It's a cool it's a cool venue. I just wondered if you're up there, if you feel, I saw Eric Church do acoustic there. And it was as a fan. I mean, it's awesome, because you're right there. I just didn't know if you guys had ever played that.
We haven't played that
to
one.
Feel that?
No, I haven't. Yeah. Matter of fact, we are playing Nashville this year, but it'll be at the arena again.
Oh, okay.
Dude, we know you're busy. We know you got things to do, man.
Appreciate it.
But we're so appreciative of you.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to get you guys to 2 college games.
Okay. We'll take you up on that.
That'd be great.
Let's do it.
And then a year later,
I got some questions for
we can get you
Saban
back
anyway.
and we'll have an assessment on that.
I got some questions
Hey,
for
get you
Saban.
down to Baton Rouge at night. You need to get you some of that.
God.
Hey, we played that football stadium. We've played it, and I got to tell you, even playing.
That's
It wasn't a
massive.
football, but it was awesome.
That's a massive building.
There's nothing like a LSU Bama game at night. in
Yeah,
Baton Rouge.
that's
It's
great.
crazy.
Well, I guess we'll
People
find
get
out.
stabbed, and it's crazy.
I don't know if I'd be wearing colors. I think I just might go in gray. Just a gray jumpsuit.
Thank you, brother.
All right,
Yeah, you
guys.
got it,
Thanks
guys.
to Kirk Herbstreet. Thanks for listening. This is the Try That in a Small Town podcast.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.